Hello, listeners, and welcome to Bite-Sized Tales, your audio flash fiction podcast. In this week's story, mysterious letters bring a message of love.
The Language of Flowers, written and read by Dot Moore. No one ever prepares you for how painful love is. Sure, movies and books dramatize it and deliver it in grand gestures and sweeping moments of absolute adoration. But in my experience, and believe me, I have a lot of experience, love is one of the most traumatically torturous human emotions. I've been a florist for over a decade, and I knew since I was a young girl that this is exactly what I wanted to be. I wanted to deliver love in all of its various phases, stages, renditions, and evolutions. Love is fluid. It's ever-flowing and changing, while molding to those it fits within with such precision. That's the thing, though. The loss of love is felt even deeper among those empty spaces. That pain is what keeps us searching for new love, for rekindled love, for unconditional love. It's the effort we put into finding it that is what makes love worthwhile. Flowers often are so overlooked as cliché, but if you actually take the time to understand what they say, what they mean, you'd realize that flowers can speak the words and feelings we wish to convey, but sometimes can't. Some of the clichés are true, and usually they crop up this time of year, every year. It's no secret that Valentine's Day is our busiest day of the season, but every February 9th for the past 4 years, I've received a series of letters unaddressed and unsigned. The first year, I thought it was a prank and chastised my gardener thinking she was the culprit, but she insisted she didn't do it. After a while, I forgot about it, but when the second letter arrived, I believed her. Since then, I've collected them, and based on the fourth message, this year I'm supposed to receive my final letter. The alarm clicked on at 5:30 a.m. and I lazily rolled onto my back, resting my head on the pillow as I listened to the radio newscast giving the weather report. Santa Fe would see unseasonably warm weather for February, but then again, to someone from North Dakota, the entire climate of New Mexico could be categorized as unseasonably warm. As the newscaster wrapped up the segment, she made a brief promotional reminder to get last-minute Valentine's Day plans in order, and I was struck with the sudden realization of today's date. I threw back the covers and leapt out of bed, nearly tossing my cat across the room with a disgruntled meow. I reached for my robe, hung on the end of my bed, and swept it over my shoulders, heading for the bathroom. I started the shower and looked myself over in the mirror as the water warmed up. My hair was too long. My routine of wrapping it into a tight bun at the nape of my neck was all the evidence I needed to know it needed to be cut soon. I stepped into the steamy heat of the water and let it wash over me in ribbons. I hoped it would relax me, but my thoughts raced to what today's letter would say. A whole year has passed already since the last, and still every day I go to my shop and I read the penned words on the plain cardstock. Olivia, I don't know if you ever noticed, but in moments when you laugh, the air itself seems to hold its breath, as if unwilling to let the sound fade. And when you speak, there's a warmth in your words that lingers. You carry a compassion so rare and profound, it humbles me. I admire you in ways that defy simple explanation, not only for your beauty, though you are radiant beyond words, but the way you see people, how you truly see them, as if they're something to be understood rather than merely observed. It's the way you bring comfort without asking for anything in return, the way you make the world a gentler place just by being in it. If I could give you a gift, it would be red carnations, symbols of deep admiration, of a love that is both steadfast and pure. They remind me of you, always, someone who adores you. I've read the letter so many times I've memorized it, just like the others. The 3 before were just as tender and sweet. I don't know who they could be coming from. I claim to be an expert on love, but in reality I've little to no experience for myself. Sure, there's been flings and flirtations, but nothing serious enough I'd consider someone from my past responsible for these notes. So, a stranger then? My instincts should be screaming that some creep has been spying on me to know me this well. But there's something familiar about the words that I just haven't figured out. Yet. I turned off the shower and wrapped my hair in a towel before stepping out and drying the rest of myself off. I put on my bathrobe and moved from the bathroom out to my kitchen and started a pot of coffee, absolutely essential for every morning. As the pot brewed, I made my way back to the bedroom and started sifting through my closet. My blue floral sundress stood out. I reached for the hanger and slipped the thin straps off the edges and gathered the cotton fabric in my hands. I dressed, then returned to the kitchen and poured myself a cup of coffee. I savored the rich, bitter flavor and thought about the previous letters. I reached into the drawer at the counter and pulled out one of the 3. They were lovely reminders of just how little I understood myself through the words of someone else that so clearly gets me. I read the second letter again, and a line in the message stood out to me. If I could give you a gift, it would be aster, the symbol of patience and elegance. The message went on, but I stopped reading to rifle through the drawer for the other 2 letters. Again, the same line appeared. If I could give you a gift, it would be red salvia, the symbol of passionate devotion. Then the first letter. If I could give you a gift, it would be blue salvia, the symbol of a calming, healing love. I smiled, understanding exactly what I was meant to do. I organized the letters and slung my purse over my shoulder before heading out the front door of my apartment to the flower shop. My gardener, Corinne, met me at the door and sighed, a laugh, holding a familiar, unopened envelope. "This is the last one, right?" she asked with a lilt of apprehension in her voice. My heart skipped a beat and I reached for it and smiled. "I think I figured it out. Part of it, it's an order for a bouquet of flowers." Corinne rolled her eyes and shook her head with a sigh. Why am I not surprised? "Well, what is it then?" I paused and looked down at the envelope. There's only one person who would know what other flower I would want to add, but that's not possible. I started to tremble as I opened the letter. My hand shot to my mouth, and I stifled a short sob. If I could give you a gift, my Olivia, it would be daisies, because even the simplest of flowers are beautiful, and they've always been our favorite. Tears streamed down my face as I read the rest of the letter. Corinne took my hands and tried to console me. "What is it, Liv?" I wiped the tears from my eyes and caught my breath before whispering the last line. "Love, Dad." Author's note. This one took some turns. I initially had a completely different idea and wanted to have it be a romantic partner, a former relationship that was sending the letters to her, and there was going to be this grand gesture in addition to the letters. But then as I continued writing, I realized that I wasn't writing from that perspective, that there was someone more meaningful that was reaching out to her this way. And I thought it was kind of poetic to highlight that love lost doesn't always mean a breakup. I know this one kind of tugs at the heartstrings, but I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.
This chapter of Bite-Sized Tales has been brought to you under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives, 4.0 International License. Intro and outro music is Fantasy Motion by Alexander Nakarada, provided under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we would greatly appreciate reviews and recommendations to your friends. Finally, for more information about our authors, please visit bitesizedtales.com. We look forward to reading to you next time.